We can't really, put everything on sanctions, and it is also poor leadership and lack of foresight. And I mean, there were quite a lot of resources that Zimbabwe could actually use, and if we didn't even see the gold mafia documentary from Al Jazeera, we wouldn't most of us wouldn't even know how bad things are in terms of corruption and all of that. So I mean, Zimbabwe right now, Mnangagwa is trying to lobby his way with the IMF, also the Africa Development Bank in Cote d'Ivoire. Is trying to also Afrexim Bank to, he wants more money. He wants to try to look at how he could revive the economy. But it's the same man that will also want to extend his time in office. Now, right now, his deputy is against that because he thinks it's now his own turn to also get into power. There's problem in ZANU-PF, and these are just power hungry people, and we can't really blame the West, but in as much that there were sanctions, but the issue here is what's the value of the life of a Zimbabwe in Zimbabwe right now. So there's a lot that is so wrong. This same pastor, what is his name, Hubert Angel, no prosecution, nothing. Of course, he is a self-acclaimed ambassador to the president, but that's for you to see the gross negligence or corruption in Zimbabwe. So when even Zimbabwe court is actually suing Al Jazeera, that is, when I saw that court papers, I'm like, how do you now, try to, sue Al Jazeera for telling their story? So what have Zimbabweans done as Zimbabwean citizens? To try to hold the leaders accountable. Yes, the election there was a mess. Even people from the Triple C they were arrested from their camps, when they were doing the counting of votes or what have you. They use police intimidation, and even that same party is being infiltrated right now, and they don't even know if Chamisa is going to run. Some of the MPs have resigned, and it just explain how the broader problem that we have in Zimbabwe. Our problems are quite similar, Zimbabwe and Nigeria, but Zimbabweans, they also sometimes blame South Africa, and that's also wrong. You can't blame South Africa for the problem. South Africa has enough problems on their ends, and so I just feel like sanction is one problem, but also decisive leadership is another thing which Zimbabwe lacks, and we've seen that from Mugabe to Mnangagwa, and even whatever alliance that they try to have at the time, it's none of them has actually worked. And it's even in Cameroon, they have a president who's been there since 1980, Paul Biya. Look at Uganda, even Rwanda itself, and in Togo, the president there got power from his son. Comoros president, a small island, very small country, the president they want to hand over to his son as well. So when you see Gabon is there, Equatorial Guinea, when you look at all of this, South Africa should expect more refugees, I would say, or more people coming through, not just economic migrant, I would say. So South Africa is strategic, is right there at the bottom of Africa, and is carrying the weight of all of these people. I will wrap up with this. I remember when there was that situation in Alexandra where the man, the Mozambique man, was stabbed. I think it's Josiah something. I can't remember his entire name. Zuma was the president at the time. Zuma did say something, and Zuma was like, he was calling on African leaders that, guys, you should fix your countries, and that's one honest conversation these leaders are failing to have whenever they gather together. So imagine if every African countries are fixed. Let's look at Ghana for an example. Ghana have their issues too. It's a pretty safe country, and South Africa is visa free to Ghana for a reason. Trade, tourism, your currency is almost 1 to 1. One cedis is almost 1 to rand. So a South African can take maybe 30,000 rand for an example. You get almost same value in Ghana. So, but you haven't seen Ghanaians packing their bags, rushing to Africa. If a Ghanaian friend who was in South Africa in December for holiday, he was again in January, he's already back to his country. I mean, this other tourist guy said he came on a Friday, on a Sunday, he's back again to his country. And that's what we want. So, and for us to achieve that, every other country needs to develop their country, bring up, constitution that are stronger, that will enforce democracy and prioritize the citizen and not just these politicians. So those are the things we need to be looking at, and not just trying to blame South Africans. Oh, they don't want us. Oh, they owe us. We were there in apartheid. We were this, we were that. So that's not what we're saying. We talk about real life issues here, and I'm just in support of, we should all build our countries. And even this open border thing, that's where Malema lost it, because you can't talk about open border when these policies are not there, when these countries, they are not, the agreements, they need to be a bilateral agreement around these things. So you can't just skip those agreements and just say open border policy. So that's, for me, it just shows that Malema, it was out of touch on that one. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful dream to open all the borders, but we are far away from that conclusion. We need to agree. If you look at Ghana right now, they may not be able to speak up, because of diplomacy relations, but they are feeling the pain from Nigerians, because there's a lot of Nigerians that are doing well in Ghana, by the way, but I'm really speaking about the negative part. You need to see, places like Accra. You need to see the Nigerian girls across the streets. Those who have been to Ghana, you will see them. I engaged the immigration there in Aflao border, which is Togo and Ghana. I asked them, what's the problem? They said, no, but we can't turn them back. The policies say they should come in. And you can see the pain, the frustration in their faces. And that is the problem you get when you don't enforce certain policies about conditions of those who should be allowed free entry, free exit. And because Nigerians are also failing, we have failed to hold our leaders accountable. Even our president, we all know. I know of a former president who passed away now. He used to come to Netcare Sunnyside, in Sunny Hill, Netcare Sunny Hill for treatment. And he was a former president in Nigeria, Ernest Shonekon. He used to come to Netcare in Sunny Hill for medical treatment. And this is something that you could just get in your own country. So when you can't even create as basic as a hospital, then you know that we have serious problem in our hands. This is not even the time. I even say sometimes, I know Nigerians will not like this. Like when South Africans are speaking, Nigerians should keep quiet. We should take a pen and a note and start taking advice and ideas. How is your country working? Let's start from the constitution. So I will leave it at that before they come for me. Yeah.
Like, what do you think it is about the two nations that are very similar, like that we sort of maybe don't understand, because they always sort of speak the same a little bit, especially when it comes to South Africa? I just wanted your point of view.
Yeah, thank you. Many years ago, I think about 18 years ago, I worked with a group called Zim CSO Forum. So this were a group of Zimbabweans who were in South Africa. They were in exile. And they were really, self-determined Zimbabwe. And one of our colleagues, he's an MP now in Zimbabwe. I love that man, and he's very determined. With people like him, I think there's hope for Zimbabwe. So he's very determined. He's a lawyer. He's focused, and we've been friends since 2006. And we've been trying so hard to try and shape our country. And what I can tell you that we have in common is our shared struggle, bad leadership. and the docility from our citizens to want to fight and take back our country. So those were the two things that we were able to see. Oh, in my country, our people are scared to fight. In Zimbabwe, same thing. Our leaders are brutal. They oppress us, and media oppression. And one thing again is across the continent, and I'm going to say it again, across the continent from top to the bottom, right from Algeria to South Africa, freedom of speech is actually zero, and the only country that we are still enjoying that freedom of speech in terms of media is South Africa. As complicated it can be sometimes, I know that the media is somehow in the hands of the white, but the SABC, sometimes we look at the SABC, we're like, hey, SABC is just average. No, SABC is not average. SABC is trying, though its government is a state-owned, but I can tell you, SABC has been like that voice for most of these other African countries, and we don't even have any other media that is actually helping in a way, and so we've been using that as a way to tell our story, and trying to get this information out there so that people can be aware of of the issues that we have. So with us and Zimbabwe, these are two countries that are great. They have a potential to be great countries, but we're a shadow of ourselves, and I think that is like a common ground. And there, if we're capable of making it great, but we're just making really slow progress, and it's because there's been a systematic I would say oppression, both from government, and which is why most of us would rather hide in our shell. I have a job, I have my small little house, I'm okay, I don't want to get into trouble, I don't need to go fight, I don't need to go get involved in all this, and that's the issue. So we all need to get involved, we all need to be activists, we all need to take back our countries, and that is the only way we can be free. And there's a quote, I don't remember the quote well, I think it's from Madiba, about we are not really free when everyone is is completely free. I may be wrong, but that's what I can tell you in terms of our shared struggle as Nigerians and Zimbabwe.
Okay, no, that makes sense, I guess. That makes sense. Guys, are you still here?
Oh yes, we are. We're still very much here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Dove, Sibusiso, and some other Ganda. Those are the people I relate with. When I really, because they make a lot of sense, they know what time is it. The answer my boss gave me is that is a step in the right direction, but they need more to be done. I don't want. She was becoming too emotional on the matter, so that was why I was asking for Sibusiso, because they are championing this cause. These are the men that are championing this cause. Is it a bad question that I've asked? Take it from there, please.
No, it's not a bad question. The thing is, I've answered you and she's answered you. I think she's answered you correctly, and there's nothing wrong in doing that. There's still more to be done, hence she's saying the same thing that I've said. Yeah. The thing, I'm curious in your questioning. I just need to know something from you. Are you from Nigeria, of course, né? And then where are you right now? In South Africa?
No. I'm in Benin now. I'm in Nigeria.
You're in Benin. Yeah. I see you are very concerned about this country. That means you know it's where it's not supposed to be. But I think we've touched a little of your nerve since you are concerned. The thing is, we're just tired of these things that are happening by commenting by your brother here. It's a fact. She's answered you correctly. There's nothing about being emotionally. She was just giving you the facts of the reality of what's happening in our country. And it's a stepping stone. Yes, there's still more to be done. You answered.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks a lot. That's just what I wanted to find out. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
let me be on the comment section then.
I need to give you a task as well before you go. Okay. Just please educate your brothers, man, that the only way it's gonna make your country work is to stay and fix your country in your country. If you can revolt, you can revolt. If you can make your government unstable so that they can hear, you can do that. We used to do it on this side. It's just that now we are being more like led by the government of national unity. There's a lot of changes that are happening in our government and that compared to yours. So you guys need to do more to encourage yourself and call up your brothers that are experts and professionally qualified that are all over the world to come back and fix your health system and infrastructure, man, to fix your country so that the country will be a viable economy. Like
they will with what is happening around the world, like Trump taking the lead now and shaking up the whole system. People will start thinking about coming back home.
Yeah, that is the important thing.
Whether being legal or illegal, people will now start thinking about going back home.
Yeah, but I was looking at the video yesterday of one of your brothers that is in US crying that he was planning for his son to be born in the state, but Trump has changed the law. He was literally crying, and it's so sad seeing an African man crying like that. It's very, very sad. That's why I'm giving you a task to call up your brothers. So you see,
it's the leadership actually.
You can change it. You can change it. You can fight it. The only way that makes your leadership to change is to fight it than running away from it.
You see the puppet governments and all that stuff. It's a big problem. It's a really huge problem.
It is a big problem. We are aware.
We have to start from somewhere.
We are fighting our own this side. We are fighting our own. There's many ways to kill a cat, to unalive a cat, but we are approaching this in a good manner because of we've been labeled names and called lazy for I don't know what reason. But we staying here in our country. We love our country. I've got visa, I've got passport. I can go and work. If they require me in the UK to go and work, if there's a skill, I'll go there and work there. But my heart and my mind, it's always at home. I'm always homesick because I love this country. I want to see this country performing, doing better to contribute to the better of Africa. Not to go and stay in someone else's home and make all these nonsensical things.
You're right. Thanks for having this kind of discussion with you, man.
It's a pleasure. Yes, I hope we've answered.
I'll be on the comments, sir.
Not a problem.
Thanks.
Understand? So, but people, they speak one language. The outside, they speak one language. The Yoruba, they speak one language.
No, I understand
So
that. You can go ahead.
So you people should try to be knowing all these people very well. Maybe wherever people are trying to make a mess in Nigeria, try to know where these people, where did they come from in Nigeria? Where did they come from in Nigeria? So let me just end it there right now first. Please, thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Mika, I have a question for you. Mika.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on what President Trump is doing with America and the promise that he is keeping right now, that he's taking out people out who are not supposed to be in America?
Okay. Let me say what Trump is doing. I cannot say that Trump is not doing. He's doing well. He's doing his job. Understand? He promised to do this before. Understand? I cannot say maybe because maybe Nigeria is involved.
You used to go and back and forth with Tony Blair, like Zimbabwe, keep your England and whatever. But I saw a video on CNN. They said like I agree that sanctions did affect the economies, but I think right now they're doing quite well as of late. I don't know, like like the people who grabbed the land, and then I think they were talking about this expropriation, like this bill that was then into law now. And if you go back to our history, the Mzungus, they did the same thing. 1912, all land was seized. That Land Act of 1913. That we as blacks were not allowed to own land. So those people, they illegally seized our land. So that was a land grab. So the fact that now expropriation now, we're gonna end up like Zimbabwe. It's not gonna work. No, just a bullying tactic,
Just a bullying tactic. You know what, guys? Let me tell you something. Zimbabwe now is getting help from the East. Chinese and the Russians are helping Zimbabwe, even Mozambican, because I recall when the West was sanctioning Russians, the Eastern power was like, no, we're behind you and stuff. They are helping them. They need to go back and fix now. And with the new government, they should uplift. I think they've uplifted the sanction, if I'm not mistaken. I'm no longer following them as I used to be.
It's uplifted. They are open for business now.
Yeah, they've asked the Mzungus to come back to farm and teach whatever expertise that they have. They need to go back and just fix their country, like the Nigerians, same as them. The Nigerians is not like, they are the ones who doesn't want to fix their country, obviously. They're blaming each other with cultural whatever things. They need to sit down and sort their issues. Hey, bonke abantu abahambe laba babuya ngaphandle man. Abasiyeke sikwazi ukulungisa country to sibe right bafethu. Yo.
That is so true. That is so true. I can't wait for that day. User.